Hello everyone, Attorney Lee Marvin here with another immigration video. I'm an immigration practitioner and I've been doing it for over a decade. And I get lots of questions from clients, from potential clients about different processes. And I've got a lot of questions about this, especially recently. So I wanted to do this video to answer this particular request. I'm baiting you if you can't tell. But you got to stick around because I've got information at the end that's very important to people who are going through this process. And this information is going to make or break the choice for certain people based on their situation. So the video is about spouse versus the fiancé visa, okay? So again, stand by toward the end because that's when I give you this extremely important consideration that you need to know in making your decision, okay? So again, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so that you get notified of these awesome videos to help you move forward with your life, with your family. You can reach out to me too, so it's not just the videos and free information, but it's reaching out to me if you have particular questions or concerns or things that you need help with. I can help you, okay? So to the video. People ask, okay, fiancé visa, spouse visa, which is better? What is faster? What is cheaper? Everything. What do we pick? We don't know what to pick. Well, it's because you're Googling stuff and trying to find random answers and jam them together. Not a good idea. So this video will help you, but there's no substitute for actually talking to me or an attorney that knows what they're doing to help you make that decision because there's a lot of considerations. So this video, I'm not going to tell you what's the better one? Because everything comes down to your situation and so many different factors, you would be surprised, okay? So factors like what, okay? So one, where is the immigrant located, okay? Are they inside the United States or are they outside? The answer to that will greatly depend on where and which process you follow, okay? Do they have a job in the United States or back home? That's another very important consideration when making the right choice, okay? So another consideration, do they have the ability to enter the United States on a temporary visa or not? Are they completely unable to enter the United States of America? Huge question, okay? Waiting times, that's always like at the forefront of everyone's mind. Waiting times and pricing, okay? Waiting times is a hot topic with most immigration things these days because of the huge backlogs, the huge inefficiencies, and the basically ineptitude of the federal government in processing requests, okay? Wait times, there are two things you gotta look at with wait times. One, USCIS. So both of these processes have a petition that needs to be filed with USCIS before you can move forward to the interview stuff, okay? USCIS is pretty much processing things about the same time frame for either the fiancé visa or spouse visa. So that's the initial petition that gives you the right to move to the next step in the process, okay? So that really doesn't matter. Where it does matter is when it comes to the embassy. Because, and again, this has changed over the last several years, the embassies process things differently because they prioritize differently. In the past, the fiancé visas were low priority. So it usually took a long time to get your interview and it was a very grueling process. That's different now. Why, I don't know. But the spouse visas are taking a ridiculous amount of time to get the interview. I mean, we're talking like a year longer than a fiancé visa. I know this firsthand because I had a client I met with today that she entered on her fiancé visa that I did for her, and they told me that the same day that they hired me, they hired someone else in, I think overseas. They hired an attorney to help them do the spouse visa process the same day. It was like June 1st. And she's already here and they checked with their situation, it's going to be an entire year more before they can schedule their interview. So again, that wasn't always the case, but it is now. So you got to think about that when you're making your decision whether to do fiancé or spouse visa. It used to be a question of pricing, which is the next topic. Pricing is pretty much consistent between the two processes. With the USCIS, with the embassies, there's a little bit difference, but not enough to make or break your decision, okay? What can make or break it usually is how much more it costs for the fiancé visa process, because you still have to do the green card process. That's still true. So people get a fiancé visa, they enter the United States, and they think, yeah, I'm good. Nope, that was part one. Part two is the green card. You have to file the green card. There's filing fees, there's processing fees, attorney fees. So it is a more expensive process, but it's a little bit quicker these days and a little bit more stable. So you got to factor that in there too, okay? So think about these things. Also think about the relationship and this next topic, which is the one I wanted you to wait for, a very important consideration for people that have families, meaning children, okay? So the process is different if your significant other has children, whether they're your children or whether they're her children. There's a different route that is involved for those family members, okay? There's a concept called derivative beneficiary status. There's also something called a lead beneficiary. So lead beneficiary, derivative, they're very different. What's the difference? Derivative beneficiary is a child that gets what their parent gets. And mostly we're talking about the fiancé visa. The fiancé visa process, you can include your children, your significant other's children in the process, and they will get a derivative visa to enter the United States to come with their parent for the purposes of them getting married to you and doing the process in the United States. So that's a derivative status that those children would get. That doesn't exist if the children are actually yours, which is ironic and weird. So if you're trying to do a spouse visa, you've got children that live with your spouse overseas, they don't have derivative status. They have what's called lead beneficiary status, which means you as a sponsor have to petition separately for all those children. So it's a little bit more expensive because you have to sponsor them separately. They usually process them at the same time, but the filing fees, the attorney fees, all these things are different because there's multiple children, because they're lead beneficiaries, not derivative. So that is a major consideration about which process you're going to pick. Because if you pick the spouse visa, good Lord, if you pick the spouse visa process and you have children and you don't know you have to file separately, you're going to get to the end of the process where they're scheduling the interview, expect that your kids are going to go with you and get the green card, and they're not. And you're going to have to start from scratch for those kids. Derivative beneficiary through the fiancé visa, they're included in that. As long as you include them, as long as your attorney knows what they're doing, they include them. They enter the United States with that visa, and then they apply for the green card with their parent inside the United States. So very different concept. Again, it can make or break the situation for your significant other. So you got to know that. And the only reason you know that is because I just told you, okay? It's not something you're going to Google. You're not going to find it online. You need an attorney to tell you these things, which is why you need to call me. I want to help you succeed. I say that a lot on this channel because I know how to do these things. I know how to succeed. And you're in very good hands if you hire me to do your process. If you have questions about this, schedule a consultation. It doesn't take that long. It's highly worth it, okay? Again, subscribe so that you get notified of all these awesome videos about things that help you save money and time and do the process the right way. Call for a consultation. I'm here for you. I want to help you succeed.